Everybody, this is Robin Alex, co-founder of HighLevel, not Go HighLevel, HighLevel, an all-in-one sales and marketing platform that has rapidly become a game changer for marketing agencies worldwide. Since inception in December 2018, HighLevel has experienced exponential growth, now serving over 70,000 customers. Is that still an accurate number?
We're
Or is it
serving
better?
over 90,000 now.
90,000 customers. 90,000 customers. Under Robin's leadership, HighLevel has facilitated significant advancements in the CRM industry. In 2024, the company has achieved a remarkable revenue of $82.7 million. I'm sure that number's perhaps updated a little bit, right? Since that's not 70,000 anymore.
Yeah, significantly higher. We stopped keeping track of it.
That's good when you can just stop keeping track of that. Robin today is going to delve into the untapped goldmine in your database, sharing strategies to leverage existing client and lead data to maximize revenue, strengthen relationships, and achieve scalable results through automation. So, Robin, thank you so much for hanging out. If you want to add anything more to that, give anybody more context, more background on you, your passion, right beyond just HighLevel, love that.
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you all for jumping on. I'll kind of lead off with I'm not really the presentation guy. More of a talk and kind of work through things with everyone. So please feel free to chime in at any point. My background actually comes from the agency space. So prior to HighLevel, I was actually running an agency, doing a little bit on the development side, but as well as performance marketing. So running ads, helping businesses grow through branding. Google ads, Facebook ads, name it, lead generation. That's where we started. And what got me into HighLevel, along with my two other co-founders, was getting into the consulting aspects of it. As marketing agencies, we are all good at what we do in driving attention to a business. The business honestly doesn't know what to do with that attention. That is the biggest problem. You can drive all the leads, all the noise, everyone there, and then the problem is they don't know what to do with those leads. They don't know how to call them. They don't know how to convert them. They don't do any of the work. A dentist is always going to be a dentist. They're not going to be the one to kind of coach their team on picking up the phone and calling the leads or, closing them and things like that. What they're used to is just natural referrals. And so that's why I ended up switching to the consulting side of marketing. So we still kept doing all the performance and things that we needed to drive the attention. But I ran into a crossroads where I was losing customers incredibly fast, even though we knew that we were doing a great job. And what I found was, as a business owner, they're paying me $1 to effectively make them $3. They didn't care what it took, but that was their end goal. I'm paying for marketing, so by me paying for marketing, you're supposed to make me money back. Now, I know nothing about their business, like how to run it. Like, I don't know how to be a dentist. I have no idea what it means to do teeth whitening and all that, but I can drive traffic to that, or med spas, or audio shop. Like, it doesn't matter what business. I know how to drive attention there, but I don't know how to help you close it. That is on you. That was the stance that I took originally. Now, the problem there is, as many customers as we brought in, at the peak, we had about like 200 customers. But what really got us to that point was really looking at, we're driving all this attention. Now, can we actually help them make the sale on the back end? Can we actually show them that they're making money? And a lot of it required coaching, but what also mattered was building in systems. Prior to HighLevel, what we ended up doing was taking 20 different pieces of software and using tools like Zapier or just leveraging APIs and really connecting it and mapping out the customer journey flow from A to Z. And we would sit down at businesses and try to map it out with them. And surprisingly, 90% of them didn't even know their flow. They did not know how to take a customer from the second that they walk in to closing them. It was just all natural. And most of the time, because of referrals, right? They're already there to buy, so they didn't know how to sell it. But if I just picked someone off the street and brought them in, I'm having to coach them of like, okay, well, if this person walked in, what would you tell them? What does your pitch look like? Like, what is your introductory message? Like, what are you verbally saying? All the way to, when do you offer them the price? When do you give them discounts? How do you upsell them from there? So walking them through that in a very physical thing was one of my winning solutions from that consulting side. But we got so good at it that we ended up turning it into a tech system. And then, by chance, I met my other two co-founders, and we actually built it into what is HighLevel today. So that was kind of quick intro how I got into space. I definitely know what you guys deal with on a day-to-day basis being in the agency world, and yeah, glad to be here.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for adding that background. It's nice to know that you have that similarity. You understand the struggles of being an agency owner. Yeah, and the worst clients to lose are like when you're doing a great job and it's like we're bringing you leads.
Y-
You
Yeah,
gotta.
I have a very soft spot for what we do as marketers. We are, we're always the ones that's always behind the scenes. We're always the ones that, in my opinion, is really what helps move businesses to doing great things in their community. But we never get the accolades for it. When you're able to help a business owner become world class or top of their market, top of their community, they make it on the newspaper or in the magazine or whatever. The first person that they should be recognizing is the marketing team who helped them get there. But nope, they go straight to their family and everyone else got them there and kick us out of the curb. And I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm just saying like we're always forgotten. And so I like to think that we're the actual ones who are moving the economy forward in our respective markets.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, and so today, I think you had given me a topic idea of the untapped gold mine in your database. Tell us about that gold mine. What's that look like? What should be
Yeah,
these agency owners be thinking about that they're not?
yeah. So when a lot of marketers go into a new business, you start looking at one, you just start looking at their presence, right? Like their website and what they have publicly out there. Where I've always seen the gold is actually who are their buyers who have actually purchased with them or shown interest. So looking at their database and really understanding that, starting there is really the place that you can infer where you can squeeze out dollars immediately. Coming back to my first point, right? Like as a business, they're paying you $1 to make them $3. So I try to strive for that as fast as possible. So looking at their database, I start building segments. And it doesn't matter if it's HighLevel or other tools, but you can create, different tags for different personas in there. So if you have people that have purchased from you, you need a filter for that and then create a campaign to that group and make it explicitly to them. Like, I know that you purchased from me in the past. I have something that's going to bring you back in. And just by doing a message like that, and you want to get as personal as you can, and direct as you can. So a lot of times, the marketers, we try to be very passive. So we'll start with email marketing and things like that. I like to go to texting. Now with AI, you can leverage different tools with that as well. But texting is usually the hit rate there. And you could do that immediately and drive existing buyers who have bought from you historically within the past 90 days is usually the reference that I look at. Bring them back in. Then you can go a little bit further, people who have been longer, 90 to 180 days, and start segmenting out. The last one, though, is people who have never purchased. You really need to understand what they were looking at and why they didn't purchase. And then, very similarly, build an offer to go after those individuals. And just by messaging them saying, I have what you need, come right now. And remember, with this activity, it doesn't take a lot of hard work. Like you don't have to build new websites and things that take weeks and months. It is just a direct response, right? And now you're able to show an ROI straight to your customer immediately. From there, what I like to do is curate this new invigorated list and start doing monthly recurring database reactivations. So every month, just the first of the month, you're sending out messages to this group of contacts, and the list will dynamically get bigger over time. And you could start segmenting out where you're sending out 300 messages a day to the group. But putting them on a regular cadence is something that the best businesses are actually doing. Think of like I just looked at a pair of shoes. It's called Flex Footwear, and they kind of follow the same model in the e-com space where they are trying to basically put you on this mindset like every day at 8 o'clock I'm expecting a message from them. And what you'll realize is yes, you will get people that will try to unsubscribe or get out of it, but your most loyal buyers who are going to continue spending are used to it and they're always checking what you provide. And when you actually run the math, you will always be, generally speaking, you're always net up versus what's being unsubscribed out of it. And you're maximizing the inputs of people coming in. So that's kind of the general concept. And so, we could kind of take it on from there.
No, that's beautiful. So this absolutely applies to our more established agency owners. You've got some clients behind you, got some leads, you got a little bit of a database built that you can go back to and keep remarketing to. I highly recommend for those that do have like closed lost opportunities. Like hey, they didn't buy, right? So for you to have that constantly in front of them. In fact, if you're not right now, I know for us in our business, we actually have a ton of different buckets. We want to know why didn't they buy, right? So we take the time to ask every single time why didn't they buy, or we kind of got a gist based on the meeting itself. So when you actually look at our pipeline, it's like closed lost pricing, closed lost. We never met with them, closed lost. We didn't ever meet the decision maker, closed lost. They were too small of a business. Maybe we need a different offer that's going to actually fit them and their needs, etc. So we have a lot of those. If you ever want my full list, I'm happy to share that to kind of help you guys segment some of that stuff. But what did those messages look like for you, Robin? Obviously, we don't want to just like annoy them or make it not something that they would want to receive. So in the agency space, let's just talk about let's talk about the people who didn't buy as an example, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let's
and so a lot of what I was talking about is you serving a small business, so or any business. It's going in and like here's an offering that you can provide to them. So like, hey, I'm going to help you drive more dollars. So you get into their database and you do the segmenting. Now, as an agency owner, the way that I would be handling it, it's when you have hot leads, it's putting them on these drips that are very consistent, 8 a.m. every day, like it's just new value points. So the fun thing with AI, right? Like you can actually ask it to create a fun fact about your offering as a text message, and it will draft out a whole bunch of ideas for you. And you could say like under 180 characters, and what I have done recently, actually, I was helping another agency. I took their proposal and all the emails that they had with this customer. We just put it all in a Google Doc and then we copied all the content into ChatGPT. And then we basically said, we are looking to create a reminder campaign via text so that this person will buy. But we wanted to layer in fun, quirky statements that refer back to either the business, the conversations, or the proposal. And so one of the things that I always coach people on with ChatGPT is before you give me the responses, ask me 5 questions to make your response better. Ask it to me one at a time. And so it's asking 5 questions, and then from there, it'll actually generate the responses. We plugged those into a campaign to this. He was trying to close a government contract deal, and he had to let it run for 30 days. And every single day, he was getting responses like positive responses back to like the fun little facts and the little reminders and things like that was all generated from all the conversations that they had via emails and from the proposal, and they ended up closing, and it turned out to be a $300,000 contract
wow, that's
just by
awesome.
that. But the big story here though was just how do you constantly become top of mind through the whole process,
Yeah.
right? And you want to figure out what channel are they most responsive on, but just make sure that you're building it up where it's almost like a recurring schedule for them.
Nice. So, and you've highlighted text in particular, right? Over email, over other platforms. I think I know the reason why, but go ahead. Like share why text?
Well, if I guarantee you, every single person here, they have their phone right next to them, and if it beeps, you're gonna quickly look at your phone. But you, at the same time, if I look at your desktop and you probably have another tab of your Gmail open or your Outlook open, and you probably have 5 or 6 unread messages. So which one are you actually going to open and read immediately? Yeah,
Yeah,
the one on your phone, right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that's really why I'm a believer in text. I'm not saying that email can't work. You just have to understand that it's a little bit more delayed of a messaging system. And so if you just kind of go in with that psychology, you'll actually get the responses. Now, one of the most important things with text messages is being short and simple as possible. You don't want to send essays. You don't want to send paragraphs. If you're getting to that point, you're going to lose people and they're going to start ignoring you. But if you can do it and then ask them questions, like, like those two things are like the biggest things I could
Oh
give
man,
with
that's it.
text.
That's it. The asking the question to engage in a conversation, right? Get that response. And honestly, what you said there about keeping it short and simple in a text, your email should look the same. Like I do not respond to paragraph text email or emails. Like please keep it short, ask the question, and then we'll keep going. So that's actually how we structure a lot of our follow-ups, even in email, right? Keep it short, you're
Yeah.
more likely to get a response. So that's incredibly valuable recommendations there. Um, so and I think we could give them one more idea, these agency owners. So I think there's this beautiful thing. If you actually start executing this advice, right, on your close loss, on your previous customers that bought, um, if database reactivation isn't an offering you're doing right now, this is a really nice simple one that does not take a ton of leg lifting. It's not something that you have to use that company to white label for you. It's something that you guys could easily do for a lot of customers. You could integrate that as the offer of like, hey, do you have lost customers? Wouldn't it be nice if you were texting out your customers and emailing your customers trying to get them to come back? Um, and so I think you by just simply doing the thing could actually use it to be an offer of its own. So how's HighLevel help with all this? I'm just setting you up here.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's extremely simple. You just take the contact list. So most businesses use some sort of POS system, whether it's QuickBooks, or they may be using some sort of CRM system or an EMR system in the medical space. Being able to take the contacts and all you need is just the minimal stuff, their name, their email, and their phone number. You can import that into HighLevel, and then from there, you can just create a new campaign. And I'll actually share my screen of a customer that I helped. Let me pull it up here. So this is actually a med spa. Oh, sorry, I don't use Teams often, so I'm trying to
You're
get
good.
my permissions.
The Mac user.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it even makes you leave and come back to make it happen in Mac,
Let's
depending on the
see.
permissions.
Let's see. No. Oh, did it work?
Sweet.
Nice. Got it working. All right. So the fun part about HighLevel is you get to create really cool workflows, and so you can actually see they've been following my model here. Um, so let's go to the April 2004. So basically, all they do is just trigger it's when customers get added into this workflow, send out a text message, and all they do every single month is send out a quick message like this. They just customize it for the month. I created this concept for this business last year. They had 0 people in their database. And what they did was started running Facebook ads and they got these contacts. They were not making any sales. I met them at month 3 of their business. And I think at that point, they had reached out to me. They got HighLevel. They started running Facebook ads. The contacts started coming into the system. They had about 150 at that time. And I basically told them, like, do a database reactivation. Just send them a quick message like this. And of the people that respond, send them your offers. 12 months later, they're averaging about 150 to $160,000 a month in revenue. And it's all
Beautiful.
by just doing quick messages like this. Because what they say here is, hey, are you interested in any deals? And someone will be like, sure, what do you have? And then their response back is,
Conversation.
yeah, it's just, what are you interested in?
Right?
And then they kind of tell you what discount or what product they're looking for. And they just respond me back with like, hey, actually, we can give you 20% of that if you book today. And then they'll get the appointment and then they'll bring them in and service them.
That's beautiful.
But
I
but the
love it.
pitch, yeah, the pitch here for this customer was I can help you generate revenue very quickly with the contacts that you already have. And at that point, they didn't have a lot. They just had people that opted in just to learn more about their business. They just didn't know how to sell them. and just walking them through this process, help move it along very quickly.
Yeah. So for a lot of our agency owners, if you got a prospect that they've been in business, they've got this kind of database, maybe they don't have a lot of money that they're wanting to spend on marketing right now. This can be just a beautiful foot in the door technique. Hey, let me do a database reactivation campaign. Let's get some messages going out there. And you can make all sorts of different offers on how you want to provide that. But yeah, I've seen that work well for agency owners in terms of starting a relationship. It helps them make some money without spending a lot of money. And then we go, okay, hey, all this money I helped made you. Let's reinvest that, right? Let's go get more. Let's bring more into the database. And then, that's where we kind of come in with SEO, PPC, social media, things of that nature to help drive more actual leads into the database. So if that's not something you guys have considered, highly recommend it. Could not recommend HighLevel more, right? A lot of our agency owners are using it. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, one other fun one that's just as easy that we've been pushing really hard is leveraging our AI employee. So you can do missed call. So we used to tell people when you go into a small business or even for yourself, when somebody calls in, they're many times going to Google, they're trying to find the next plumber, and you're just going down the list, and the first person that answers wins. And what we would find is that after hours, many businesses are just not answering or they're busy or whatever it might be. Well, we created this concept called a missed call text back. So when you get a missed call, you want to shoot that person a text saying, "Hey, sorry I missed your call. Stop calling other people. I'm here. What do you need?" Right? And you can engage the conversation, and it creates that pattern interrupt. Well, what we've actually created was the concept of an answering service leveraging AI, and it works incredibly well. So when someone calls after hours, it can go to this AI bot and actually have a full-on conversation with people. Um, and it can take in their contact information, their phone number, their email, and things like that. And if you actually give me 1 second, I can show you a quick demo of it. Let's see.
This is where it gets real.
Yeah.
Everybody's been talking about AI, but now we actually have an AI employee. I like
Yeah.
it.
Let's see. All right. Let's see if this works. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear this.
No.
Can you get?
So when you click your share screen, there's going to be an extra little, so stop sharing. There's going to be an extra little check mark when you go to click share. It'll say like include computer sounds or something like that. There you go.
Oops, sorry.
All good. No.
Still can't hear it?
No, we can't.
All right, here. Let's try one last time, and then if not, we're giving up.
Yeah, it might be a permissions deal. We'll see. We'll see.
My toilet is clogged and there's everywhere.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
hearing it now? Okay. Let me start from the beginning there.
Hey, you have reached ABC Plumbing. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of an emergency. My toilet is clogged and there's everywhere.
Oh no, that sounds like a real mess. Let's get this sorted out for you. Can I start by getting your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Tim.
Just to make sure I've got it right, your name is Tim. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yes.
Great, thanks, Tim. Could you please provide your address so we can send someone over to help?
Yeah, it's 123 Sesame Street, 75201.
Thanks for that. Just to confirm, your address is 123 Sesame Street, 75201.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Perfect. Is the number you're calling from a good one to reach you back on?
Yeah.
Awesome. Our team will get back to you as soon as possible to confirm their arrival time. Hang in there, Tim.
There you go.
Might take a little while to get to Sesame Street.
But that was actually a real demo that we actually put together. So it wasn't doctored by any means, but that's what we're actually building and trying to make even better. now in our community, if you guys are in there, people are rolling out like pizza shop versions of it. We had one person that was at a conference and they were on stage and they asked people in the audience, and they had about 60 people who called into the phone number that they had on the screen, and live, like they were just putting the mic up on people, like going through the AI bot, and it was like answering questions and stuff like that. So our system is getting really sophisticated to do these advanced functions, but on the basic side of like what we just the video that you just saw, that is out of the box. And so this is kind of another offering that you can walk into a small business and pitch them on, like, hey, after hours, I can make sure that you don't miss a call, make sure that you get that contact, we can collect it, and we can create actions, whether you want, to send out alerts to their business or log it for the next day, whatever you need to do. This just becomes a really cool offering that you can provide to your customers.
Love it. So I've got two questions, but the first one I want to ask, and I think I saw you guys say this year, hey, we're working on simplification. We're not really working on launching more features. And that totally makes sense. Like that's a lot of feedback I'm hearing from agencies. Like I logged in, I don't know what to do. Like there's so much. And I'm sure you guys heard that all the time. So for a new agency owner, let's say they're here and they're like, all right, cool. Yep, I've heard of HighLevel. I totally want to dive in. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to start figuring it out. What is like the best way like to really like figure it out and figure out how to use it? Like, yeah, what's their process?
Yeah, so a couple things. One is the best success that we find with customers is if they come experienced from another software, like that you've used another tool.
Hmm.
We try to build our products where with that in mind, and the perspective of when you go to an airport to rent a car, kind of expect certain things when you jump into the car, right? Like the steering wheel needs to be here and your gas pedals on the right side, your brake pedals to the left of that. Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
I haven't driven in a couple of weeks. And then, the gear shifter is on the right side. Like you just expect these things. And that's how we build our products. And so if you've used other tools, just know that when you come in, it's going to be there. Now, the other aspect that I do remind people is HighLevel is a white canvas. And this is something that we're going to make better over time, where when you come in, it's going to have more solutions for you, right? Like I need to create an email campaign. And so it's going to take you down that journey and help you do it. But today it is a white canvas. And so instead of coming in with that expectation, in the meantime, just think about what you want to do. It doesn't matter what technology that you're on. What are you trying to accomplish? What is that user flow? What is that user journey? And that's something that you can just draw out on a piece of paper or use something like Draw.io or Figma or any tool and just map it out and consider that your blueprint. And then from there, when you come into HighLevel, now you have a very direct path on what you're trying to accomplish. And then, I always look at the plus one. You're already doing a lot of things. What is that next stage that you need help with? That's what you should focus on, is that plus one, because everything else is working in many cases. So focusing on that and just kind of keeping it very hyper focused there before you move on and trying to solve for everything else. So, kind of taking those three is where I've seen most people get successful.
Makes sense. Yeah, come to it within minds of what you want out of it in the first place is very helpful. Otherwise, yes, there's a lot here, and you'll be like, what do I use?
Yeah, and over time, we're just trying to learn how people are, where people are getting, stopping points and struggling, and we're going to close those gaps. But it takes time and just understanding, because we've never looked at it in that lens. We've always looked at it as, oh, you're using this tool. All right, well, we're going to make that tool and make it even better. But guess what? You already have used the previous tool before, so when you walk in, you already have the expectations there. So for us, it's a new paradigm. We also look at it as for us to start competing against the best products that's out there. From the world side of things, you have companies like HubSpot, Salesforce, and these are kind of the tools that when you walk into a business, they are shopping, your version of it from from your agency delivering it to them versus these companies that they've seen on TV or whatever. Well, we want to make sure that when they log in, it looks like it. Like they need to kind of feel like it's at that enterprise level. So we want to really refine it, remove as many things where, to turn on a setting, you have to go into 3 little menu items to enable something. Like why isn't it at one click? So just little things like that, we're going to put more emphasis in improving and cleaning it up and making it simpler. So that's really our focus and what we're trying to accomplish in the next year.
Awesome. Make it more intuitive. I love it. I love that mission.
Yeah.
It's hard. That's a hard mission, and I'm loving that you guys are tackling it.
Yeah, it's very nuanced, right? But a lot of it just takes from the advice and strategies that we're learning from, all the agencies that use the platform today.
Makes sense. Yeah, you guys definitely have enough data and input from your customers.
Yeah.
The second question I wanted to ask though is, when talk about doing these texting campaigns, talk to us about like all the legal behind of an opt-in, right? So in terms of having the right to text them, hey, if they've been a past customer, am I allowed to text them? If they were a past prospect, am I allowed to text them? Like what legitimately do we need to be thinking as agency owners so we're not getting customers in trouble or ourselves in trouble?
Yeah, well, disclaimer, I'm not an attorney, so don't take any of
Fair.
this as legal advice. But I think when you think of TCPA here in the States, and other countries have different philosophies and processes there. The biggest thing is just making sure that you have proper consent, right? Like, if someone were to ask, "How did you get my number?" Can you properly answer that question? And if you have opt-in forms, you need to have basically a checkbox that says, "I agree that I will be receiving text messages," and or I know that this is going to happen, and you need to make sure that that's documented somewhere somehow. Now you can go to the nth degree and do terms of services, charges, and break that down, and like more corporate style websites, they have that where you can open it up and see it. But at the core of it, what people are wanting to know is that are they receiving legitimate text messages? And if somebody asks, you can just tell them, "Oh, I know how I got your contact, Mike. Remember that one time we were at this place and you gave me your phone number and we took that picture together? That's how I got your number," right? Like, that's all that people as humans are really looking for. So if you just kind of think of it from that simplistic manner, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Now, the other piece that you want to do is think about you being in their shoes. Would you want to receive a text message for what you're pitching or offering or asking at 3 in the morning? Probably not,
Not at 3 in the
right?
morning.
Yeah, exactly. So just put yourself in the shoes of the recipient when you're creating these text messages on, do you like receiving 5 paragraphs in your phone talking about an offer from somebody else? Answer is probably no, right? So how can you create a simplified version? How can you engage conversation? And how would you respond if you receive that message? Um, it's always difficult for marketers to kind of reverse, where the other person's at. But that's the biggest challenge that I would give to each of you is when you're curating these messages and thinking about it, to make sure that you are compliant, is also looking at it as, if you were the end recipient of these messages, are you comfortable with it so much so that you're going to positively engage with it? Now, yes, there are the technical ramifications on make sure that they, you're not sending to someone that unsubscribed from you. Make sure that you have clear consent and all that. But that aside, bring the psychological aspects behind it, the psychology behind it, and that's gonna drive, great success.
Excellent. So, guys, would love to open it up to everybody here, unless Robin, you have something specific you want to make sure you add in. Okay. So,
No.
yeah, I would love to open it up the floor. We got like 23 minutes left. You have the opportunity to pick Robin's brain right now. So, what would you guys like to know about HighLevel or about database reactivation campaigns or really any of these topics that we've been covering? And then, by the way, if you are a HighLevel user, like just indicate that. That would be really cool, I'm sure. Don't be shy. We got any questions out there? I think everybody's feeling good.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Chase. Go for it.
Okay. I apologize. I'm having. Oh, there we go. I was going to say I was having trouble with Teams and camera wasn't complying. I am a HighLevel user. Just getting back into it. So I had signed up beginning of this year. Sort of got overwhelmed with some things, and then also needed to back burner the launch of our agency. Re-engaged just recently. So have the database reactivation campaign already set up. Started working on actually offering that 2 or 3 weeks ago. So start to get some traction there. What would you say is a good next step, especially for an agency like ours that's using that company as white label fulfillment to start building things out, or how, what's sort of that next step, those additional processes in leveraging things to really kind of level up?
Yeah, I mean, I think the quick thing is that when you talk to a business, it's the miscall AI, right? Like the voice AI. I think that's an easy one that you can enable for a business and charge them for it. With the database reactivation, if you're getting interest in that, what you might want to also ask is, what are your biggest offers, right? Like, so when you do send a message out, they need to be prepared on what to respond back to their customers on, like, hey, yes, we do have specials. Here's the specials. And you want to make that as conversational as possible, but it's hard until they feed you that information. And there's two different ways that you can approach it from a campaign side. One is you can do the activity of sending out that initial message. Hey, we have specials. Are you interested? When they respond back, now it's the business is sitting in the hot seat to continue to respond back and forth. Some business owners like that. Others want you to go all the way to the end of actually closing it or doing the appointment side of things. I would recommend, if you go that route, you can leverage the AI tools that's within the system. Mike, I don't know how much you've been playing with that, but you can actually create full dialogue all the way to booking an appointment or closing a deal all through chat. I would charge a premium for that function because there's a lot more that's entailed. And the first couple of times, it's going to take for the AI to get trained properly, that you may lose some opportunities, and that kind of irritates people because they're hot buyers for the first one, but that's just natural, right? But really, it's understanding the offers and make sure that you know what the journey is to getting there, because that's what's going to feed the conversation when you do the database reactivation.
That makes sense. Yeah. Very good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chase. All right. Who else? Who's got a good question? Anybody else in this meeting already use HighLevel? If you don't mind, just use the raise hand feature. You don't have to say anything. You don't want to, but love to see who else out here already uses it.
Everyone's quiet today.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. Thursday evening. You guys ready to go to sleep? Well, Robin, I think we're going to let you go then. I really appreciate the time, man. And thank you for adding value to our community. So you know what happens with this content. We take this, edit it up just a little bit. We post it on our YouTube channel. We send it out, email blast to like 20,000 folks. I know texting, but no, we don't text this out.
Yeah, it's all right.
But,
yeah, this is good with email.
Yeah. So it'll go out to about 20,000 folks we got. Yeah, man. So any final words? Anything extra?
No. What you guys are doing here, working with agencies and like I said, agencies have a strong place in my heart, for all the hard work that we do. And so thank you all for having me. Hopefully I brought you some value. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on all socials, easy to get a hold of, and can help you, whether it's in the product or with your agency. If you guys just have questions, ideas on what I've seen or experienced, let me know. Always available to help.
Sweet. What's your favorite social? What do you use the most?
Facebook Messenger. I'm around, but I check everything pretty frequently. Kind of the same thing, close to my phone.
Yeah, it's on your phone.
Yeah.
Marty, you got your hand up. You got something?
Yeah, I do. So I kind of screwed up. I didn't include you into the email blast out to all our partners. Is that something you want me to do? You want me to go ahead and
Sure. Yeah, add me. It's Robin at gohighlevel.com.
There you go. Here it is. There you go. There's his email. It'll be in the recording as well for everybody. And it's also now in the chat. So feel free. If you got anything extra you want to talk to Robin about, you got his email now.
Cool. All right.
All right.
Robin, thanks so much for your time. Great to have you, man.
Yeah, thank you all for having me.
Absolutely. Great
Thanks,
having you.
Robin.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.